we're going to talk about the slope of a line. All right, the slope of a line. So we have different kind of lines. We graph lines using the x and y intercept in the previous section. So we're going to talk about lines and what slope means. Okay, so I have a line drawn. Okay, and every line is distinguished by how it goes. Does it go up? Does it go down? Is it vertical? Is it horizontal? Okay, so we have two characteristics of a slope. Okay, how far does it rise and how far does it run? Okay, so if I look at this line right here that I drew, it has a rise, which is distinguished by its vertical change. Okay, how high does it go up compared to its run, horizontal change. Alright, and we can measure its rise and run at different points in our line. Okay, we could look at its rise, much easier to write than vertical change. Alright, its rise compared to its run, okay, at many different points. Alright, we could say rise to run here or here. And we could look at it at various points in our line. Okay. When you do this, you'll notice that no matter what, it's going to be the same ratio for every line. Okay. So the rise from here to the run here is going to be the same ratio as this rise according to this run. Alright, and we'll take a look at it when we do some examples. Okay, so slope is its vertical change over its horizontal change. Or quite simply, rise over run. Slope is rise over run. Okay? So the slope ratio, vertical rise to horizontal run. And we often use the variable m to represent slope. Okay, so we have our line, our slope, and then here's our rise compared to our run. Alright, so rise over run. Okay, positive and negative slope. Positive slope goes up from left to right. Alright, so it's going up from left to right. So this line right here has positive slope. Okay, and if we were going to determine the slope for the line, what we would do is identify 2 points on this line. Okay, and we would draw in a rise and run connecting the 2 points, kind of like drawing a right triangle. Alright, and we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is the rise. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is the run. So my rise over run is 6 over 4. And well, we could reduce this to 3 over 2, okay, because 6 can be divided by 2 and 4 can be divided by 2, just like reducing a fraction. Alright, and since it's positive slope, we're going to keep it positive 3 over 2. Negative slope goes down from left to right. so this line right here has negative slope. And again, if we wanted to find the slope of the line, we would identify 2 points. Okay, hopefully 2 points that intersect a coordinate exactly, so you're dealing with 2 whole numbers. I wouldn't choose this point over here because I really don't know. I know it's like 6 point something, alright, comma 1 point something, but I'm not technically sure. Right here I know that this is 0, 3, and this point is negative 6, 5. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's a 4. Okay, 2 integers. Alright, and again, if I wanted to find the slope, I would draw a vertical line and a horizontal line connecting the 2 points. Okay, just like drawing a right triangle, and I'd measure the rise and the run. So the rise is 1, the run is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, so my slope is 1 over 5. I can't reduce it, so I'm going to leave it as it is. Alright, and it's negative slope, so I'm going to write a negative sign in front of it. Alright, now we're going to determine the slope just given 2 points. Alright, and if I look at these 2 points right here, I could determine the slope by drawing a right triangle again with my rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and my run 1, 2. Alright, and again it's going down from left to right, so we know that's a negative slope, and the rise is 7 over 2, and we can make that negative. You don't want to change this to a mixed number even though it's an improper fraction, so we're just going to leave it as it is. Okay. Now let's say we didn't have a graph and I wanted to know the slope given 2 points. Alright, well I would take the 2 points, alright, and that we'll use our graph first. This point right here is negative 1, negative 1. And then this point right here is 1, negative 8. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to use this formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, to determine the slope between the slope of our line. Okay, the reason why we subtract the 2 y values is because the y-axis goes up and down. That's going to give us our vertical change. The x values is going to give us our horizontal change between the 2 points. Alright, so we have 2 points. Alright, and each point has an x value, and each point has a y value, a y coordinate. Okay, and this is our first x, so we're going to give it a subscript of 1, and this is our second x, so we're going to give it a subscript of 2. Alright, and we're going to use this formula here to determine the slope given the 2 points. So we have m equals y2 minus y1. y2 is negative 8 minus negative 1 over x2, which is 1, minus x1, which is negative 1. Alright, let's simplify that. Negative 8 minus negative 1 is just like negative 8 plus 1, which we get negative 7. And then 1 minus negative 1 is really 1 plus 1, which is 2. So we get negative 7 over 2. Alright, let's try that again without a picture. We have 4, negative 2, and negative 3, 8. Okay, so we have our x values, our x coordinates, and our y coordinates. We have our first point, we have our second point. Alright, we're going to sub it into this formula to determine the slope of our line given these 2 points. Alright, so we have y2, which is 8, minus y1, which is negative 2, and x2, which is negative 3, minus x1, which is 4. 8 minus negative 2 is 10. Negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7. So our slope is negative 10 over 7. Alright, zero slope and undefined slope. Zero slope is when we have y equals. Okay, if you remember from previous sections, y equals is a horizontal line at that point. So we're at point negative 3, so y equals negative 3. Alright, so when we have y equals negative 3, there is zero slope. Okay, or m equals 0. Okay, that's part of the reason why we don't have an x value in this equation. Undefined slope is when we have a vertical line. Okay, and this graph is x equals 4. Alright, x equals 4 is undefined slope. Or m is undefined. Okay, how I distinguish the two is if I had a ball and I put it on my undefined slope, what would it do? Well, it wouldn't even roll down the line, it would just fall off. Okay, if I put a ball on my zero slope, it would stay still, 0. It's not going to go anywhere. Alright, so that's the difference between undefined and zero slope. Alright, so just quick review, we have zero slope, m equals 0, no slope. We have undefined slope. We have positive slope. And we have negative slope. Okay, remember all our slopes have a numerical value except for undefined slope. Okay, practice on a few problems and please ask me questions. There's a lot of material in this section.